Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Live Life Extraordinary podcast. I'm your host, Bianca DeLuco. And in this week's episode of the podcast, we're going to be talking about the smarter ways that you can set goals in the new year to make sure you're actually following through and achieving those goals. So if you're somebody who every year finds yourself setting the same kind of goals, you want to save more money, you want to get in better shape, you want to finally start that dream business, but by February or March, you found yourself completely given up and back in square one. Or maybe you're the type of person who doesn't even set goals and intentions anymore because previous years have proven to you that you can't follow through. And so why even deal with the disappointment? You quit before you even get started. I'm going to teach you why traditional goal setting isn't really structured in a way that helps us succeed, and how there's a different framework that you can use that can help you stay motivated and build your confidence along the way. The framework we're going to be working with is called the SMART goal framework. SMART is an acronym where each of the letters of the word SMART represent a different piece of the framework. S meaning specific. We want our goals to be really specific. When we have a goal, like I want to write my book. Okay, well, how long is your book going to be? How much time are you going to put into this book? What is the goal? Just to write it? Is it to have it edited also? Is it to publish it? What is the specific goal? If you wanted to get in shape, right, you might have a goal like, I want to exercise more. What exactly does I want to exercise more mean? If you exercise 3 times in January and at the end of the year look back and say, well, last year I only exercised 2 times, so I did do it more. Is that truly what you meant? So we want to make our goals as specific as possible. The next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that our goals are measurable. So by saying something like, I want to work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes. That's really measurable because at the end of the week, you can look back and say either, yes, I did work out 3 times, or no, I did not work out 3 times. It's really important that it's measurable because it is really ambiguous. It's hard for us to take pride when we've actually accomplished what it is we set out to do, but it's also hard for us to refine and improve when maybe we haven't set out what we have to do. The next thing in the SMART goal framework is achievable. When we set goals like I'm going to work out every single day for an hour, or I'm going to only eat healthy food, I'm not going to eat any junk food, it's truly not achievable. If you know anything about yourself, you know that life happens, right? You're going to be sick, a family member is going to be sick, someone might pass away, you're going to get a flat tire on your car, there's going to be a big project at work, maybe you didn't sleep well and you're just extra exhausted one day. But when we set ourselves up with goals that are like, I'm going to do this every single day for the entire year or for the rest of my life, whatever it is, by day 5, when you've been consistent, you're like, yeah, I can do this. On day 6, when one of life's surprises shows up and you aren't able to follow through, on day 7, we have this, well, I didn't do it yesterday, so I can skip today too. And by day 8, we've given up completely because we're like, I knew I couldn't stay consistent. I knew I'd end up back at square one. This is what I always do. So we want to make sure that it's something that's super achievable. Now, it doesn't mean if you are starting out, I would say the smaller you start out, the better it is. Because when we start small and we have like a lot of wins right up front, a lot of progress and success right up front, it helps us feel motivated to keep going, and it helps us to feel confident in ourselves that we're able to actually make true sustainable change. So if your goal is to move your body more, let's say for week 1, your goal is just to walk for 10 minutes a day. And you might think walking for 10 minutes a day isn't actually going to help me feel the way I want to feel or look the way I want to look. But realistically, at the end of week 1, you can look back and say, did I achieve that? Yes or no? And how can I either refine that or improve that goal so that I'm making even more progress in the direction that I want to go? Small steps truly lead to big changes. So the smaller you can dream to start, the bigger changes you'll notice over time. The next one is relevant. We obviously want our goal to be relevant to what we're trying to achieve. If your big goal this year is to write your book, it's not really relevant to go to a bunch of yoga classes, right? And so we might have a lot of different goals that are existing at the same time, but I find that when we can really focus in on one or two major goals and put all of our energy and our time and our capacity into that, the more success we're going to notice ourselves having. You're not Wonder Woman, you're not Wonder Man. I don't know if Wonder Man's even a thing, but having this idea that you can achieve everything all at once is probably also setting you up for failure. This idea that you can maintain a household, work a job, spend time with loved ones, have hobbies, take care of your physical body, do something for your mind, and on and on and on and on and on, is probably making you feel like you're not doing enough constantly. So instead, look at your life, look at the things that are really, really important for you to prioritize just this year or just this month or even just this week. Set your SMART goals for those things, and then you can always, once you accomplish them, set new goals and focus on new things. I find that when we have too many goals happening all at once, it causes us to get kind of dissociated and shut down. We get into this place where our nervous system is in total overwhelm. So instead of taking action, we find ourselves scrolling on our phones after work or binge watching another Netflix series. If that sounds like you might be trying to do too much at once. So let's scale back what we're trying to do and focus on just one or two smart things we can do. The T in the SMART goal acronym is for time oriented. We want our goal to be time oriented. So rather than saying, I'm going to work out 3 times a week for 30 minutes, you want to add in there for the next week, for the next 30 days, for the next 21 days. Because then at the end of that 3-week period, you can go back and say, okay, yes, I achieved this. This is great. For the next 3 weeks, I'm going to do 4 times a week instead of 3 times a week. Or you can say, no, that didn't really work out for me. Why didn't that work out for me? And really get curious about why it is you followed through. Try not to beat yourself up or put yourself down for not making good enough progress. And again, look at it. Is it that I don't have the time? Do I not have the right equipment? Do I need to hire a personal trainer? Is there something that I need to do to get support in place to help me achieve my goal in the future? The more that we rag on ourselves and put ourselves down for not achieving our goals the way we think we should, the more you're going to go into that downward spiral where you're just completely shut down and not achieving anything at all. So start really small. Remember, even the smallest steps you can think to take between now and the end of the year or in the first month of the year, because small steps really do lead to massive, massive changes. And 0% compounded over time when we take no action or when we give up equals 0% progress at the end of the year. But 1% compounded over the year and over 5 years and 10 years compounds exponentially. And so when you look back, you'll realize that those small steps that you took at the very beginning really set you up for success long term. It isn't about what we can do occasionally that matters, but what we can do consistently that matters most. So using a framework like the SMART goal framework really helps you maintain consistency, get confidence in yourself, and keep yourself motivated. The other thing is with dreaming small, I used to constantly hear people say, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. But that never was true for me. When I shot for the moon and things like saying, I'm going to exercise 7 days a week, or I'm going to have a 7-figure business or a 6-figure business, or whatever it is I wanted in previous years, when I missed, I didn't land amongst the stars. I landed in a sea of disappointment where I was like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I stay consistent? Why can other people do these things, but I can't? That downward kind of shame spiral where I wasn't learning from my mistakes, but I was instead setting myself back further. There's a big difference between guilt and shame. And when we identify with shame, it causes us to feel like we're not good enough and to give up entirely. So again, if we can look at our progress in a super neutral way, without assigning any meaning, without judging ourselves, it allows us to refine the goals that we've set and give ourselves more knowledge or support where it's needed. A huge example of where this has played a role in my life is that when COVID happened and my in-person business was closed, I was doing a lot of work online. And I had this goal to really grow the online platform. I think I wanted 10,000 people in an online community at the time. And no matter how much I seemed to work towards that, my progress was really, really slow. So eventually I just quit. Now, towards the beginning of this year, that desire to work with a large community started to ignite within me again. And the first thing that I did online was the Spring Self-Care Challenge. And I had this big goal of having 100 people in the challenge. So I launched it and I thought it was truly a slam dunk opportunity. Self-care, it's free, it's for a full week, I'm guiding it. Of course, people would want to participate and sign up. Day one, I only had 7 people signed up. Now, in the past, when something like that would have happened, that's where I would have felt really disappointed and discouraged and like there was something wrong with me or with what I was creating. Instead, I looked at my goal and said, okay, maybe 100 isn't possible this time. How can I reframe my goal so that it's more achievable? Because 100 might not be achievable. And so I set a goal of 10, knowing that I would hit the goal of 10 really quickly. The next day, when I had more than 10 people, I raised my goal to 20. From 20 to 30, from 30 to 50, from 50 to 75. And on the day that the challenge started, I had 100 people in the group. If I would have stuck with that original mindset and that original framework of dreaming too big, I would have felt really discouraged. And I probably would have stopped promoting the challenge, feeling like nobody really cares. It's not really that important. It's not as good as I thought it was. I'm not as good as I thought I was. And then nobody would have got to enjoy it. But instead, that challenge had 100. And now for the 12 days of Christmas, I just ran a second self-care challenge, this one with 235 people in it. So starting small, remaining consistent, letting your motivation and confidence grow with you are super important parts of the process. Another way that this has helped me remain consistent is I used to have this all or nothing mindset around exercise and movement practices, thinking that if I wasn't moving all 7 days of the week, or at least like 5 of the days for 45 minutes, either getting a sweat in or having sore muscles the next day, then my movement wasn't worth anything, that it wasn't even worth doing. Instead, I reframed that and said, whatever I can fit in is beneficial overall. And so this started transforming the way that I was living my everyday life, all of my habits. I would, while I was cooking dinner, do some squats or lift some light weights. I would take a 10-minute walk whenever I could squeeze it in after breakfast or after lunch, or do some light stretching right when I woke up in the morning. And although 10 minutes of movement doesn't feel like it's going to be that impactful, you'll find that 10 minutes in the morning plus 10 minutes in the afternoon plus 10 minutes in the evening equals 30 minutes a day. And before you know it, what was this all or nothing, what it had to be in the gym, look like whatever, when you let go of all of that and focus just on what you can truly achieve with your current lifestyle, you'll notice yourself making progress at faster rates than you anticipated. So I hope that this episode has inspired some things in you. This has really helped me manifest the life of my dreams over the last couple of years, as well as spirituality and self-care and self-healing, which are topics I'm going to be covering in future episodes of the podcast. So if you are on a journey of creating a life that you love, definitely make sure you subscribe to the podcast to receive more episodes like this. I did create a worksheet to go along with this episode to help you look at your goals and refine them with the SMART goal framework. So it is in the description box below that you can download the worksheet to help you set goals for the new year or whenever you're finding this podcast. It's okay if you're starting in the spring or the summer or the fall. You don't have to wait to the new year to start creating a life that you love. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the podcast. If you have a friend that you think could benefit from this, please feel free to share with them. I'm really excited to be getting messages of support out there with people and getting new framework in the hands of people who really need it. So thanks again so much for being here, and I will connect with you again soon.